about the alif when it is written as a ya or when the alif is written as a waw. Objectives: to recognize when alif is written as a ya and to recognize the alif when written as a waw. Okay, so here we have on the right hand side a normal alif, and on the left hand side we have what looks like a ya, but notice there's no dots underneath the ya. Now in the Quran you will see this ya shape written. Sometimes however it's not actually a ya at all. It's known as the alif maqsura, i.e. the alif painted as a ya, or the painted alif. Another name for it is alif bisura al-ya. So they're the two names given to this letter which looks like the ya but is actually an alif. So you could think of it in English as an alif painted as the letter ya. So we're going to have a look at some examples. The first one we've got here, the top line is all Uthmani script and the bottom line is all Majidi equivalents. So the top right first example, so this is wadduha. Now if you notice we've got the ha with the fatha and then what looks like a ya, but this is actually the alif painted as a ya, i.e. it's the alif maqsura. And the giveaway really is, first of all, the ya has no dots underneath it. Secondly, they put this short alif or dagger alif on top, and the letter before it, i.e. the ha, carries a fatha. So that is read as if the ha and the fatha is followed by a normal alif, i.e. fatha alif, which we covered in the long vowels. So if you literally pretend that alif maqsura is an alif, you would read that as ha, too long. The next example, exactly the same. We've got sa ja, too long, ja. Again, just pretend that the last ya looking symbol is an alif. Giveaway again, no dots under the ya, small short alif or dagger alif on top, and the letter before is with a fatha. And notice the alif maqsura can only come at the end, so that's another giveaway. And the last example we've got is fatar da. Okay, so that da at the end, the dad, is too long as well. Now in this case, on top of the short alif, we've also got a mad sign. And the reason for that is because the next word, which is across the end of sentence, is the hamza. And we covered that in the lesson on the elongation of sounds. So you need to go into that lesson. But if you were to carry on reading, that would be lengthened normally to about 4 times the normal length. And below we've got the same. The only difference you'll notice in the Majidi script, to help you out a little bit more, the dagger alif or the short alif is written directly on top of the letter before the alif maqsura. Okay, so that's the only difference, and you can see that in all 3 examples there. So again, the alif maqsura, which looks like a ya, no dots underneath, always at the end of a word. So you've got to be a bit careful with this, and over time you'll practice that. It'll be quite natural to see that. So simple rule: a ya looking sign at the end of a word, short dagger alif either on itself or the letter before. Now we'll go on to the next one, which is the alif written as a waw. So the alif may be drawn as a waw. The waw normally carries a short alif, or what we call alif, and is normally followed by the ta marbuta. Okay, you will also find that the waw with a short alif, that is actually a waw. You will get two versions of this. You'll have a waw with a dagger alif on it. Sometimes it's going to be treated one way, and other times it's going to be treated another way. And we're going to go through some examples to help you figure out which way to pronounce it. You may need to use a color-coded Quran to make sure you do not confuse the two. So this is a very tricky one, and the easiest way is to use a color-coded Quran which identifies the two. Down the bottom then we have the waw with the small dagger alif. So that's what you're going to see. However, it can be read in two different ways. So let's do an analysis. So again, at the top we've got Uthmani script, and at the bottom we've got Majidi script. The first word then, here we've got wal hayata. Now some people might think that's wal hayawata. Now this is wrong, and the normal rule is if you have the waw with the dagger alif followed by the ta marbuta, then you do not pronounce that waw. Actually, that waw is representing an alif, a bit like what we just saw with the ya, or the alif maqsura. So this waw is actually an alif. So you just read the previous letter as if it's fatha alif, i.e. too long. So instead of ya, that becomes ya. So that's wal hayata. And below that we've got the same thing in the Majidi script. So we've got wal hayata. A bit more help in the Majidi script because they've moved the dagger alif back onto the ya itself, so you'd read that as too long anyway, ya. Okay, and then you've got the waw itself. So what you don't want to do is change that into what we call a diphthong, a gliding. You don't want to say yow. It's not yow, it's ya. Okay, again, the easiest way to remember that is you've got the dagger alif, you've got the waw, which is actually an alif in this case, and it's the ta marbuta at the end, which is really the giveaway. Now the next one, it looks exactly the same. So you've got samawatin. This one is samawatin. So the waw here is actually a waw which has gone too long. Okay, and they've drawn the fatha alif as the fatha and dagger alif, or short alif. And down the bottom, same thing again, but in the Majidi script they just draw the dagger alifs and not the fatha and dagger alif. So that's also samawatin. Okay, so you've got to be a bit careful. So it looks exactly the same on both sides, but one is a waw and one is actually an alif, and the giveaway really